This is Sridhar from wpdevdesign.com. In this screencast, I'm going to talk about the duplicate ID problem in Oxygen 3.0's repeater component and show you the workaround that David Brown has shared in the Oxygen Facebook group, which is basically just one single line of JavaScript to get around this. So here on my test site, I have a page in which I'm gonna use the repeater component to show the titles of 10 latest WooCommerce products. So here is the Oxygen editor, and inside the section where I have the heading, I'm going to add a repeater component, and I'm going to click on query and select custom, and for the post type I'm going to select product, go back, and I'm going to set the count to 10 to fetch the 10 latest products, and I'm going to click on apply query params. Okay, so I'm going to click on the very first one, and here we need to start adding the components that each row of the repeater should show. So in this case, I'm going to just start with the title of the post. So I'm going to go to add. Um, I'm already there, but if ever in basics or something like that, you need to go to WordPress and dynamic data and click on title. So as you can see, that is basically pulling the titles of all the uh, 10 latest products. And I'm going to click on this first heading or the title and click on this link button to make it a hyperlink, and I want to link this to the permalink of this product. So I'll just cancel this, or yeah, cancel that, and then click on this data button, and here for the post I'm going to click on permalink. And even though you don't actually see that the rest of the titles are hyperlinks, they will be hyperlinks on the front end. Okay, so these titles are too big. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select this heading and set a font size of say 20 pixels, and I would like to set the font weight to something normal like 400. So if I save this, come back to the front end and reload, so now we have these products each linking to the corresponding single product page. For example, if I click on that, I get taken to that single product. Okay, so where is the problem? It all seems to be working fine. The problem is that each of these repeater elements, along with whatever is there inside, is going to have the same ID repeated. So if I inspect any of these titles, okay, so let's collapse everything, and you can see each of these divs, they all have the same ID 47167. It is repeating as many times as you have the number of rows. And if I expand this first div, you can see that I have a or an anchor tag that has this link 83167 ID, and that is the same ID that is gonna appear over and over for each of the rows. And the story repeats for this H1 6167, and inside this A is this H1 having the same ID 6167, and the span you can see is 61167, and this span also is 61167. So that is the um, duplicate IDs problem. Anyway, so there are two things that you need to do to work around this problem in case you are concerned about this, and you should be. Okay, so the first thing is that, well, forget about the first thing. You'll automatically know the importance of the first step after we do the second step. And that second step is basically adding a code block, basically adding a code block that has this line of jQuery. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the editor, and inside my section I'm going to add a code block. Actually, it doesn't really matter where you put that code block as long as it is on this page. So I think better thing to do would be to just place it outside below all other sections on this page. Okay, so in the code block, I'm going to go to PHP and HTML and just comment it out. I do not want this hello world to be output on the page. And then go to JavaScript and simply paste this line of code. So here what we are saying is locate an element that has this class, and inside that, for every element, star basically represents every element. We are asking it to remove this ID attribute along with its value. So if you take a look here, this parent div, in which each of these repeater rows uh, are present, it has this class oxy dynamic list. So we're essentially asking jQuery or the browser to locate this particular div, and inside that, for each and every element, not just in one single level, but every element, it will basically go through and locate and see if it has this ID attribute, which is essentially every single element in Oxygen, and it will just remove this entire ID equal to whatever blah blah. Okay, so once you put that in here, just click on save, come back here and refresh, and here you can now see that in the HTML structure all the IDs along with their values are gone, but we have a problem. All the styling that we did has disappeared. Well, in this case it just happened to be two things. I changed the font size and the font weight, but imagine you had a repeater which with elaborate layout and things, lots of components. So if you follow this process, you're going to lose all that styling. So what you need to do is, before you add this JavaScript, well, before you add this JavaScript, just make sure um, to note all the things, all the styling changes that you have done, and you need to add a class to your components and apply the CSS to that class. So what do I mean by that? Right, so in this case, I'm going to select this heading and I'm going to give it a class, something like, let's say products list heading. Okay, and thankfully you just need to do it once because it is a repeater. It is going to repeat for every row, so we just need to do it once for one single row. All right, so for this heading I've given a class, and with this class, the active one, I'm going to set my desired font size to say 20 pixels and font weight is 400. Okay, and you don't see that changing for the other rows, but once you save that and refresh on the front end, it will work fine. Okay, so once again, thanks to David Brown for providing this workaround in Facebook group. I hope you found this helpful. Bye for now.